So good to see you all. I'm going to start with my introduction. We'll do a couple introductions, and we do have some students who are going to hop on with us in about a half an hour. So just, to be transparent, we're trying to Zoom, so that's a technology, challenge, but we do have students who are preparing to speak to you right now, so that's exciting. My name is Heather Payton, and I am the Gear Up Site Coordinator for the Burlington Edison School District in Washington State. And my background is I taught high school Spanish for 10 years in rural and urban settings, taught in San Francisco before coming back to Washington State where I grew up, and have been in college access work for, about 5 years and really, really love it. And this is our student, Linda. She painted that of herself, and it actually totally captures her spirit. And she has actually been part of this program for the last 4 years. Just a reminder that that's why we're here today and every day is for Linda and all our other students. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Bridget Golotti, and I'm the director of Compass to Campus. It's a mentoring program at Western Washington University in Bellingham, Washington. We train college students to mentor in Title I high poverty schools in our region. We'll talk more about Compass to Campus later, but it's just such a privilege to be here with you and to partner with people like Heather to support our students.
And before I move on, I just want to name that we have some Burlington Edison folks with us, including some amazing staff, young people who are running this program now, so we might invite you to chime in if you like. So these are our objectives for this morning. We want to share with you how we partner with our local university, talk about how we build impactful mentoring programs, and then how we, the nitty-gritty of how we structure our weekly college visits.
And just a quick agenda, we'll talk a little bit about who we are, a little bit of the story, the background, zoom in our Gear Up students, tech gods willing, talk a little bit about how those college visits work. We do them every week, and then we'll have some time for Q&A throughout the session, and especially at the end.
And I'm thinking we don't need this, right? I think we don't need the microphone, or do people want the microphone?
No.
Microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. So we are coming from the beautiful Skagit and Whatcom counties. Bellingham, Washington is a college. Does anyone know where Bellingham, Washington is? Yay! Okay, great. Alumni? Excellent. Okay. Great. Bellingham is a college town. Western Washington University is there. Western Washington University, the last time, our Gear Up cohort right now, we're serving 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, but we graduated the classes of 2017 and 2018. So at that time, I haven't seen current tuition rates, but Western Washington University was the second most affordable public university in the state. And it's just 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Skagit Valley, which is a beautiful community. And do you want to add anything about Western? I grew up in Bellingham, and I attended Bellingham Public Schools, and I don't think I visited Western Washington University once. And I am a first-generation college student, so just really this program is kind of driven by that question of how much do our local students really know about this university? So this is Skagit Valley. That's a mural that we painted on our school through the Gear Up program. So really beautiful, rich history of families migrating to work, not just in the tulips, but in potatoes, berries, all kinds of produce. It's a beautiful community. And our school district is 51% students of color, and I think 50% of those students identifying as Latinx. But because it's rural, and I don't know how many folks are here how many people from rural school districts, more urban settings? So there's a real, our school district is different from the school district that is just like 5 minutes away. And there's a lot of dynamics that I'm learning the community being there for the last 5 years, but there's a real just division, segregation in terms of landowning folks, people who own the farms, and then the people who are working in the community. So, yeah. Any questions about Skagit? Okay. Should come back. Tulips are beautiful. So when we started this program, as I mentioned in 2017, only 4.7% of our seniors were enrolled at Western, and we piloted this program, and we're going to give you a timeline to show you, give you a little more details. But after 1 year of bringing students to Western on a weekly basis, we had far more students enrolling in Western, and that was never the intention of the program. Our program, we never wanted, it was never a deal that we made with Western to improve enrollment. It was really just making sure that our students knew about a viable 4-year option that was just up the road from them. But we did see an increase in enrollment. And what's really stands out to me and is interesting is that doesn't seem like a very big number, 8%, but that was the second choice for that class because a quarter of our students were choosing Skagit Valley College, which, you know, we're big fans of transfer degrees, big fans of community colleges. When we talk about college, we talk about all the options, not just 4-year schools. I was a transfer student, but definitely many students who had the grades and who are currently at Western, but their original plan was to go to community college, and it was simply, I think, because of underestimation and of, you know, from their teachers or themselves or their families or their peers, and then just simply not knowing about the 4-year option.
So this is the slide that I love showing our board of trustees at Western, because whenever we put these stats up, the board is like, wait, is that right? Is that, so our median income at a regional state school in Washington State, and this is from 2017, so it's certainly higher now, but the median family income for students attending Western Washington University was $112,000 a year. And when we compare that to Burlington Edison High School and other high schools in our region, we see that we are really underrepresented in terms of income level and also in terms of race, ethnicity. So Western Washington has as part of its priority plan, its strategic initiatives, that we're going to increase the diversity of our student body. And we've made some progress, and we're proud of that progress, but such a long way to go when we look at our surrounding community. And we are a state-serving university. We're for the people of Washington State, and yet when we look at our demographics, we see that we haven't fully achieved that mission of serving all of the people of Washington State. And something that's really unique about Washington, and it's this great opportunity. How many Washington folks are here? Ooh, super cool. Okay, so what's special about Washington College tuition assistance?
Are you talking about the state youth grant?
Yes, so the Washington College grant. So for these families, especially who receive free and reduced lunch, making under $48,000 a year, but even up to $100,000 per year, can receive at least partial tuition assistance, and then at that income level, full tuition assistance. So actually the tuition at Western, as affordable as it is free for many of our families. And yet, they're not coming to Western. And so this was a real challenge, a real opportunity that we saw of how can we help Western to fully achieve its mission of serving all students and really increasing access to higher ed, helping all of our students to achieve their post-secondary goals.
And I guess I would just add, I mean, I think that why are they not choosing Western, or why are they not persisting at Western? And there's a lot of reasons why. Our program has been driven by like creating a sense of belonging for students. So this is also an opportunity for students and college, high school students, college students to interact and increase that sense of belonging for everybody. Okay. So we want you all to talk to each other. So please turn to your neighbors, or ideally, you meet somebody new, but get up if you want to. We have a couple minutes to do this. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your role? And if you can think to the most memorable, most impactful college visit you've been a part of, and I know it's been a while for most of us, all of us really. So what made it so? What made that a successful college visit? And if you haven't gone on a college visit recently, too far back in your memory, describe how you would hope a successful college visit would be. All right, go. Gabby, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. We got a room of educators here who are ready to hear from our students. Can you have them introduce themselves, or do you have another plan?
No, yes. Linda, would you like to begin? Would you mind telling us your name, your grade, and how long you've been a part of Northwestern?
So name, grade, how long she's been a part of Northwestern. Good morning.
Hi.
You can take your, oh, never mind. Keep your mask on, honey.
Oh.
Can you
My name is Linda, and I'm in grade 11, and I've been around like 4 years. Yeah, part of Northwestern. Okay.
Hi, Ro. Would you like to
Bye.
Of course.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great morning.
Great morning. Good to see you.
My name is Hyro. I'm in grade 11. I've been a part of Northwestern for 2 years now.
Awesome.
Yeah. Josefina?
Who's Josefina?
Hey, my name's Joe, and I'm in 11th grade. I've been part of Northwestern for like 3 years now. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm in 11th grade, and I've been a part of Northwestern for a year now.
Hi, I'm Fatima, and I'm in 11th grade, and I've been part of Northwestern for like a year.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Are y'all ready for the next question?
Yes, please. And do it however makes the most sense for you all.
Love it. Linda, would you come back? It's okay. You got it. You gave an awesome answer. Ready? Yes, you do. Okay, Joe, will you come over? Okay, Joel,
Yes.
what is your favorite experience?
My favorite experience is, touring the college, seeing new experiences, and just like overall having fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Joel. Kim, would you come over and would you tell us about your favorite experience with Northwestern?
My favorite experience from North to Western was going on the tour, them showing us the school and all the buildings and what was going on in the buildings and giving us like a little background of it.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. Okay, Linda's taking a quick drink, but she will pop over and share with us her favorite experience with Northwestern.
My favorite experience from Northwestern was everyone getting along, the activities, having fun and stuff, and most importantly, getting help from the mentors with the homework and stuff. And also that one class that we went, it was the VR one. That was really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet. Okay. Timo, would you mind coming over and tell us about how has Northwestern impacted your plans for college and or the future?
Northwestern has become a college option for me after high school. I like the campus and it's close to home.
Thank you. Hyro, would you come over and let us know how
She likes the campus and it's
impacted your plans or views about college?
Yes. Like Northwestern, I even know it was like a college before Northwestern, and so it's like opened my eyes to like a bunch of new, like they talked about like majors and like different classes and like ethnic studies and stuff, and so I feel like it's good for like learning about what I might want to do, you know.
What do you know what that might be? Because I'd like an update since we're here.
I don't even know. I was low-key. I feel like I want to do like real estate, but I feel like I don't know. It might be hard because it's like it's a lot on chance and like what you can get, like listings and stuff. So I'll just probably just get like a business degree I can use wherever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Hyro.
Yeah.
Okay. Kim, would you mind sharing with us why is it important that the Northwestern program is at Arlington Elementary School?
So I think that the Northwestern program is important. Wait, oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm wording it so bad. It should be at the school because they help us out with tutoring and they should like show us the school and show us opportunities and give us information.
Thank you, Kim. Oh, wow. What about you? Why is this program important at Arlington Elementary High School?
Alright, so I think it's important because it shows other kids different opportunities that they can take in the college, and it also helps out kids. Like you learn new things, and then you get help with the things that you're doing right now. And it's just like, yeah.
Okay, quick rapid fire. What's your favorite thing we've ever done on campus?
Man, that's hard. We've done a lot of things. Probably go to the library and with the thermal camera.
Okay, who's your favorite mentor of all time?
Oh wow, that's a hard question.
I mean, Gabby's right there, but what about Bruce?
Oh, I was also spelling out Reyes.
Yeah, I mean, probably it's between Reyes and Gabby.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Linda, would you mind sharing with us why is it important that this program is at Arlington Medicine High School? You got this.
In my opinion, why it is important.
Why is this program important at Arlington Medicine High School? Why should this program happen?
The reason why this program should happen is because, for one, it helps us improve our grades. For two, it's another opportunity for us to experience like college and stuff. And yeah.
And you had to turn down a different program for Northwestern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't go to the OB Vasquez one.
You can't?
No, because Northwestern.
So she chose this program over a couple of other opportunities. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. So that's all that we had. Did y'all want to ask any follow-up questions to any students?
We haven't given our class here, our group here, the details about the program, so I'm not sure how many questions will be out there, but are there any questions for our students? Because we have them for a couple more minutes.
I believe in the motivation to let them sign up because I think we're all in this room going, okay, this is great.
That's a great question. Yeah, so like, how did we get students interested or motivated to sign up for this program? And it took, I will say, it took time, 4 years in the making. This is the first year we've ever had a sign up where we had a waiting list. Yeah, that sounds good, Gabby. I think, you know, we've made it fun. We've given them opportunities to connect with the mentors. We've always had a meal together, always. Yeah, and I know that comes up like every conference, every session. Like really feeding kids is clutch. So we've made that a priority, and we've found creative ways to do that. But I mean, Linda, I think it took months to get her to sign up. She's like, she's 8th grade. I don't know. What is this again? I don't know. But we've created like a buzz is what we've focused on. And then you get a couple people, and then you use them to be your PR team. Our cohort is, how big is our cohort? Like 500, and I'll give you some more background on how the program's changed over the years. Right now we're taking only juniors. We tried to squeeze in some sophomores, and we take 14 students a week. So, and it's a quarterly model. So, that sort of like, you have to sign up. There's only so many spots. That also creates exactly the sense of urgency that they get kind of competitive. Are you ready to share one word? Or
yes, I think so. Okay, Fatima, would you be willing to come in?
One word to describe Northwestern would be fun.
I love that. Ken, what about you? Are you not ready? Hi, Rob.
I'm ready.
One word to describe Northwestern.
That's 2 words. One word would probably be amazing.
bless you.
One word would be unique.
Like you, bro.
Oh, thank you.
One word I would say entertaining.
Linda can't think of one, but I think through flipping back through the photos, Linda might say cute dogs.
Cute dogs. Cool.
Also earlier, Joe and Jairo said cash money
Oh.
for how to describe Northwestern.
Oh, okay. So we should pay them.
I think that's slang for cool.
Oh, it's slang. Oh man, in front of all these people. Thanks, Gabby. Hey, I think on behalf of all of us, thank you so much. There's a whole. I wish I could show. Yay! Thank you so much for taking your time. We love you. Go to class. Do your homework. We'll see you on Wednesday. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much. I think we obviously didn't really know how that was going to go, but I think just giving the opportunity, right? It's so important. Like we could have really worked on polishing something for you, but it wouldn't have been that perfect.
It's such a treat to see our students, and I don't know about you, but I haven't had too many, especially too many boys I've worked with who would use the word like amazing for really anything, let alone something related to education in school. And so that's what really stands out to me about Northwestern. And I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but I feel like college students and peer mentors are the secret sauce to it. Because we can do all the research and we can be like, yeah, you can go to college for free and like we can show you things. But that's just kind of like, okay, that's okay. You get college students involved and you start hearing words like fun, amazing, unique.
Cash money.
Cash money, right. You start learning new slang. And that's just what makes this really unique. And so we'll talk more about how we build that partnership, but I think that that's really important. And there are college students who are really excited to do this work and just need the opportunity. And so when you can bring high school students and college students together and like nurture that, that's how we can bring some of this about.
So thank you so much for your question about like how to motivate kids, how to get kids involved. Before we get into the nitty gritty, are there any other like burning questions about like before we, tell you about how we've done the program, what you really want to know? Just so we can make sure to get them answered, or are you just ready to? Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, great. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Big hiccups. There's always hiccups. Yeah. Gabby was a Western student who was a mentor through Western. She's now actually in her graduate teaching program. She worked as a mentor and was the lead mentor for the Northwestern program on campus, organizing the activities and overseeing the mentors, the college student mentors. And then we've hired her to be an instructional assistant while she's in grad school. So she's pushing in the classrooms today.
So then you'll see how this is also then a pathway, especially for first generation and BIPOC college students to take on leadership roles in school districts. Because that's another need, right? And so it takes a lot of work, and we'll talk more about some of those hiccups. But we're just so proud of how we're able to support with the students coming up into college and then students out of college into career as well.
Okay.
So I'll talk a little bit here about Compass to Campus. Is anyone familiar with this, especially from Washington State? Oh, thank you. What do you know about Compass to Campus?
She's a plant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. So we were founded in 2009. So we've been around for a while, and we came about at a time when there were a lot of service learning courses to help college students to volunteer in their community. And what's really nice about a program like Compass to Campus is that we're able to tap into the funding, the energy of a university. And so the college instructors who teach our service learning courses are paid by Western Washington University. We also employ about 35 undergraduate student employees, so students like Gabby and other students. We really try to recruit and retain first generation and BIPOC students so that we're about not just college access, but also college success. And I know that we've heard from some of the other speakers about how important it is for kids to see role models who look like them, share their experiences. And so we really try to recruit a diverse group of mentors for our students because our mission is to increase access to higher education for students who have been historically excluded from higher ed. And we recently revised our mission to use that language of historically excluded. We heard from Mr. Fascinating yesterday about, we don't want to say underrepresented, marginalized. It's also passive and negative. And for us, talking about historically excluded, put the onus back on us. If these are students who have been historically excluded. They've been underestimated. By supporting them, low-income, Black, Indigenous, and students of color, with trained college student mentors, we can help to right some of those historical wrongs and increase access to higher ed for our students. Because our vision is that all students in our region will have the resources and the support that they need to pursue their post-secondary goals, whether that's community college, apprenticeship, 4-year degree. That's what we're here for. Because we saw that we had so many students who were 4-year college material, but we heard from businesses who said, like, I didn't even know Western was a college.
I don't know.
It's 20 minutes away from where these students live. And so that's a huge problem. But it's not just a one and done college visit. We knew that we had to build a relationship. We knew that it had to be a regular thing for students to really feel the sense of belonging.
And as you can tell, it's like a natural, we're blessed that we have this local partner that already has objectives that just align with what we're doing in Europe. So to give you a little bit, this is really to give you a little bit of background, this is really what's been driving our program the whole time. So we've all done college visits. Sometimes we're lucky and we get a college student tour guide who connects with our students, but the college visits that I've been on, a lot of them are just really rapid fire. Here's this, here's that, here's that. Not a lot of time for questions. If you don't feel like you belong, you're less likely to speak up and ask those important questions. It's a short window of time. So we asked ourselves, what if we, instead of going once, we went to a college campus on a regular basis? How would it increase students' sense of belonging, and would they be more likely to go on to college? And then again, we were wondering, why are more students not choosing Western Washington University? The other important thing to point out about Western is that on campus, freshmen are not required to live on campus. So that is so important for our students who want to save money, but also want to stay home and support their families and aren't ready to move away and take on the additional cost. So they're able to commute in their freshman year, which is a really big deal. So we've had a lot of iterations of this program. In the summer of 2017, we had a group of juniors from our last cohort who participated in a program called Futures Northwest College Quick Start Program. They went to Western for 3 days and they lived in dorms, and Europe took care of the cost. Futures Northwest subsidized some of the cost, and it was built on mentors. These are the college student mentors that were there, or some of them were there this summer, or that summer. And so after those 3 days of seeing students in the summer really running around campus like they belonged there, that's when we started to ask that question, wait a minute, why can't we do this not just for 3 days in the summer? So we went ahead and piloted a project, or the program in November of 2018. I reached out to the only people I knew at the university, which was an admissions person from Skagit Valley. She connected me to the director of admissions, and then that person connected me to the director of Compass to Campus at that time. And he, Dr. Anselmo Villanueva, he was like, how about North to Western? That's a great name. Going North to Western. So this is a 2018 grad, and this is Reyes, who Joe mentioned. And they're in the Viking Commons having dinner because from the beginning, as I mentioned, we always did some activities and then ate together. And really for high school seniors, that's really all we needed to do was feed them and provide homework support. Like they're working on AP Calc or something. They had the homework, it was urgent, they needed the help. We just sat and snacked and did homework. This is Julie and Maria, who were also 2018 Europe grads, and they're currently seniors at Western. This is exactly who I think of when I think about students who were planning on going to Skagit Valley College who had 3.0s, 3.2s. Really would have been at the top of the class if they weren't, also taking care of siblings and also working and all taking, on those other responsibilities that we know about. So, it's really become, we built a community over the last 4 years. I think they're both going to human services. So they graduated, and again, those numbers at Western went up, and because of the 7th year, we could support them at Western a little bit. But then we took on a new grant with 7th and 8th graders. And so we had to pivot quickly, and so this is Suheida working with Beatrice, campus to campus mentor. What we realized quickly is like, oh, 7th graders don't have that much homework. She's actually a 6th grader at that time. And also they need more activity. So we learned quickly that we needed to incorporate more activities. So this is at a gallery. We went to the science and math library. We did rec center tours. One year we did a top chef cooking challenge with college food, like ramen and eggs, and I don't know what else we bought. And we went into the kitchen of the Ethnic Student Center and we competed. So Gabby, that lead mentor, she was so important. She thought of these activities that would really engage students and would get us around campus. So 2018 to 2019, we engaged, when Lindo was in 8th grade, we started engaging those middle schoolers with always the meal, always dinner, always transportation provided, activities, and then a little bit of homework time. That year, we also started to incorporate family visits, which was really wonderful. So we still use that cohort model of sign up for 7 weeks. And it works perfectly with the college calendar, right? Like we go quarterly. So we get new mentors every quarter, same students for 7 weeks. And then at the end, we did a family celebration. So we bussed families, we did certificates and awards and meals. And so this is Ugo, who is also getting his master's program right now for teaching from the Valley, his mentor and his mentor's mother. So really, I would love to bring some of that back if possible. But we don't have high school or middle schoolers anymore. We have high schoolers again. So I don't know how we can do that, but that family piece was really lovely while it lasted. And just to clarify, we're now the quarterly model, but when we started with the seniors and also freshman year, a couple of years ago before the pandemic, it was more like sign up on Monday to go on Wednesday. So that was easier. That was easier for us because we were sure we were going to get kids who needed and wanted the help. We are back to a 7-week quarterly model primarily because of the pandemic. It's much easier to manage because we're required to do proof of vaccine or negative COVID test. So this is pre-pandemic. Again, Reyes, Ugo, Rafa. That's a lot. That's what the academic support time looks like. This is after we've met on campus with our crew of mentors, done an icebreaker activity, done some sort of campus activity that was planned in advance, and then digging into that homework time. And this is one of those activities at the science and math library. Also, we pulled in the newspaper, so this picture was on the front page for that one visit. So, when the pandemic happened, obviously, we had students who still needed the help, still were engaged in Northwestern, but we couldn't go to campus anymore. So this is one of the best silver linings, COVID silver linings I can think of, is that we just made it virtual. We already had the time set aside for a visit, so we just went virtual right away. So we started the mentors. We do 2 mentors to a room, and we do breakout rooms on Zoom, and we just, and we'll be talking about a summer credit recovery program tomorrow. There's another session tomorrow that's fully virtual because of what we learned in adapting Northwestern for the virtual setting. And kids, they needed the help and wanted the help, and they learned how to Zoom in a meaningful way because they knew the mentors already, right? So they weren't blank just names on a screen. They were actually engaging. So now, last week was our first week of Northwestern. Shout out to Alondra and Carita who run the program this year. We have a weekly meeting with our Compass to Campus partners, students show up on Tuesday, go to campus. We don't do any homework on campus anymore because now we can do it virtually. So that's great because we were pressed for time to really get the meaningful academic support. So now we just do all activities, a meal together, and they make a plan before they leave campus with their mentor of what they're going to work on at academic virtual tutoring on Thursdays. So this is the vibe. This is the poster we've been using for 4 years, and that's kind of about branding actually. Like, how do we get students interested? And we branded the program a little bit by using the same graphics. And so logistics, I talked a little bit about the transportation. We're so lucky we have district vans, so all our staff has their Class 2 license. So that makes a huge difference. I realize if we were relying on a bus, that would be really hard. So we have the 2 vans that we check out when we drive, really keeps costs low, parking's easy. We do the permission slips, for the full 7 weeks. In terms of staffing, we had to adjust our Gear Up staff schedule because they work on Tuesdays, 12 to 7, because we leave at 2:30, get back at 6:30, sometimes you bring kids home. And then the budgeting, what's most expensive? Usually transportation, so I talked about that, the district vans save our lives. For meals, we paid so much for so long until we realized that we could include an admissions component and get the discounted rate. So we paid $5 a meal, and of course it's all you can eat, which the kids love. So that's been super, super important. Compass to Campus has gone through some leadership changes, and there was a time where Compass to Campus was not funding lead mentors as much, and that was a real challenge. We really rely on them to pay those lead mentors, because the mentors from the course, they're learning mentoring skills. They don't necessarily have them. So, yeah, we talked a lot about logistics. And Bridget says, yes, we talked a lot.
Questions about these pieces? Because I know when you're thinking about,
So, yes.
So, in this 7-week period, I think the same kids going early in the 7 weeks of the same group. So
Yes. 14. Yes.
Another 7 weeks of another.
Yes, and because right now we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, we started with the juniors because academics, is a little more rigorous right now for them. And I think we'll probably move to sophomores and then spring bring freshmen to kind of give the teaser for next year. But yeah, those students are going to be they're going to be bummed because it's really been a lot of the same students for a long time, and that's something to think about, right? Like, the impact on them is great, but how can we maybe have a bigger impact? Mm-hmm. No. Yes. Yes. So we have the break, the regular university break, right, between quarters. I mean, we're trying to offer robust academic support, in other areas of programming, but that academic support with that mentor, yes, it's only 7 weeks. But we have a lot of mentors who love it so much, they keep coming back and we hire them. Any other questions? Yeah. That's a great question. Thank you.
yeah, that's a great question. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I talk about like the college student mentor side. I will say something that we struggle with is that STEM is a focus of Northwestern for all the reasons that we've heard, from speakers and everything. STEM college students, for a number of reasons, can be particularly hard to recruit for mentoring, especially diverse first-gen STEM students who are like, I have all of these other things on my plate. And so we really try very hard to be intentional about our recruitment and to really, you all know, like, a lot of this is about love And so I feel like a big part of my job is like when we have those students, how can I like really just show them love and encouragement to try to keep them. Like so Reyes, for example, engineering, like very busy guy. He was also a work study student and he worked for Compass to Campus. And so a lot of it is about like paying them, like really making a home for them in Compass to Campus. So like there's snacks in the office and like there's other fun politics to hang out with. And so it's less like one more thing and it's something that pays them and that helps them to achieve their goals. But it is hard. You end up with more like humility and social sciences.
And I would say also the messaging that we give around to mentors and also students is like, look, this isn't about being an expert in any subject. We for our orientations and trainings for mentors, it's really about like, let's figure this out together. I don't remember this algebra either. Let's figure it out together. I know it's hard, right? Do you need me to explain it again? No problem. I'll explain it again. So that, I feel like that approach has such a bigger impact on the belonging and on the, that growth mindset than, I honestly think that sometimes some of our most knowledgeable in a certain area mentors have been the least successful. Yeah, because they're just like, they're so excited about it. Yeah. And then with our students, we're like, look, you're not going to get, like, this is not tutoring, it's mentoring. And we purchased tutor.com hours this last year. So that's where we can funnel the kids who are like, I need an expert. Well, go to tutor.com and get an expert. So it's 14 per quarter. It's 14 per quarter. And I wish we had, again, one of our challenges, one of our hiccups so much, the hiccups are generally just logistic, like, are our meals paid for? Or is there gas in the van? Or who's running the icebreaker? With COVID, definitely we had some hiccups. Super proud of ourselves for getting through that, working with our school nurse. But usually the first day is always just bumpy. But I was getting distracted from that question. So 14 students per quarter, and yeah, that's me, a little ADD. Go ahead, yeah. We do an application. Yeah, we do an application, and the application is never like GPA requirements, or it's always just like, why do you want to participate in this program? And in the early days, we took applications even if they weren't complete because we were desperate. But I think it's important to have students say, I want to do this, and I'm going to take a minute to tell you why I want to do this. And also they need that skill. They need to learn how to apply for things, right? So these are our Gear Up field trip expectations that actually are really good for life, I think. And this really came from the very first field trip I did with this cohort, 6th graders. We went to a girls in STEM thing at a community college, and we walked in, and we were our students were the only students of color, and they walked in and they walked out, and they were like, yeah, no, like, wait, we don't want to go in there. So our number one Gear Up field trip expectation is that we belong. We say this every time we get off the bus, every time we get out of the van. It doesn't matter where we are. Western Washington's a public university. It doesn't matter what we look like. We are allowed to take space up everywhere we go. We belong there, and so we really lead with that. We ask students to be present. This is just another way to say don't be on your phone. But I think it helps to not say, don't get a phone. So we really want them to take advantage of everything they encounter. Because on a college campus, we walk all the way through campus and we're running into people with dogs. There's just so many opportunities and we want them to be present for that. We stay together. We're respectful of everyone that we interact with. And of course, we have fun, and it's important to make that a rule. Yes. So, totally, yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming that the conference is going to ask us to upload our presentations or make it easy for us to share our presentations, but we also will share our contact information. Yeah. Okay, so gets a little bit to the question about getting the right mentors.
So recruitment is really important, and we found that word of mouth for recruiting college student mentors has really been the most impactful. So when students have a good experience with Compass to Campus, and then they have fun working with students, and then they're telling their friends, that's really how we're able to recruit more students. Social media, of course, has been really important, and then partnerships on campus. So the question about how we make sure that we have a diverse group of mentors. Another big part of my job is building partnerships with other folks on campus who are invested in this work. So whether it's the Black and Brown Men's Success Collaborative, or it's about diverse students in STEM, or it's working with athletics, or it's working with our School of Education. A lot of our mentors are aspiring teachers and school counselors. And so to provide them with an opportunity to get some real world experience is really valuable. So it's all about getting the word out about, hey, you think you might want to work with kids, or you want to do some community work, here's a great opportunity for you to do so. In terms of training, we have service learning courses taught by university faculty, so students earn credit for the service learning experience. Each quarter, in pre-COVID times, we would have about 150 college student mentors. In COVID times, it's gone down a little bit, we're going back up. And so those are all the students who are in the courses to support programs like Northwestern, and then programs at a number of other schools in our region. And we also have those lead mentors who are lead student employees of this program. But the service learning courses have been a really important part of how students are trained to be a mentor. And then in terms of support, we talked a little bit about this before. It's really important to me that Compass to Campus is about not just college access, but college success. And so when we're able to support and nurture diverse mentors, diverse college students, that's really like the full fulfillment of our mission, I think. Because it's not just about getting to college, it's about getting through, and it's about being successful after you graduate. And it just it fills my cup so much to think about students like Gabby, like Google, and many others who are going on from Western, from Compass to Campus to working with our kids in leadership positions in our schools.
And just to clarify, as a Bureau Psych coordinator, I don't do any of the mentor hires. So that's really the beautiful thing is I can lean on this partnership. The students are coming from the campus courses, and their lead mentors are being hired and interviewed by Bridget and her staff, and then we show up for that orientation to be like, okay, mentors, these are our students. And we do get, because we know what the demographics for teachers look like, and a lot of our mentors are teachers, we do get a lot of, it's harder to get students who look like mentors who look like our students and share that background. So for me, as an educator, I feel like it's been a great opportunity for me to work with white teachers about diversity and
Oh, I guess that remote homework out portion. So it used to be a part of the campus visit, but something that we've changed during COVID times is that now once a week they come to campus for their weekly activities, but then the homework help is on Thursdays remote.
And I will say, last week was our first week. We were heavily attended for the campus visit and lightly attended for the academic support for students. So we lean on things like simplified for text messaging. Another junior, so you can be like, look, you have to show up. You made a commitment for learning how to remember all of the responsibilities and commitments you have. So I think those virtual
tutoring sessions will be attended. So we again clarify, we do need your staff to facilitate those, to open the Zoom, to open the breakout rooms, to we have 2 mentors, usually 2 to 2 and but we never leave a mentor alone with the student in the breakout room, and then we have a really good practice of circling back to the breakout room and to make sure that the focus is happening. Pickups.
And opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, sustainability is always a challenge. You know, Bridget and I were talking about this, like when our grant is up, like what will happen to this program. It's really been the most successful program that we've done. I like to think that Northwestern might be able to shape some of the other, some of the other mentoring that's going on in Compass to Campus, because it's generally but generally college students are going to classrooms, partnering with teachers, and I think that it's we might have a little bit more success in our model in terms of impact. Finding the right mentors has been hard, but we've gotten better at it over the years. And I would say I don't think we've ever had a mentor that we couldn't work with, but it does help to have someone who has some teaching background, we're starting to embrace our role as teaching the mentors as well, like guiding young people, through in a professional way. So the COVID has obviously been a huge challenge. Really up until a couple weeks ago, we were hearing no.
So this was a big,
and I don't like that word, so.
That was a big disappointment for me. It was a big challenge. So Western Washington, thankfully, takes COVID extremely seriously. But at first, it was a big challenge for us because it was like, oh, anyone coming to campus, and I got this news literally like a few days before they're coming. Anyone coming to campus has to be vaccinated or have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of coming to campus. And I was like freaking out because I was like, so we have high school students who are coming from Skagit Valley, and for a number of reasons that I'm not sure if everyone at Western understands, like they may not be vaccinated yet. And so there was a lot of scrambling, and magic happened. And so we're able to have a vaccinated, tested cohort of students on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. And that's part of why it's a cohort, because with COVID, it would have just been too challenging to have like, it's this kid, it's that kid.
We don't want to deal with getting vaccination cards every week. And it was a learning opportunity for me because I was like, great, we'll just require vaccines. Like Western's requiring vaccines, we'll require vaccines. And my supervisor was like, nope, you can't do that in public school. Can't require vaccines, can't ask about vaccines. So yeah, luckily we have enough tests on site, and our nurse, bless her and all school nurses right now. And it was actually kind of interesting. It was good to get a little sample. Out of 14 students, only 2 are vaccinated. And I didn't really have a good sense of how many students were vaccinated. So we just have a routine of there's like 2 of them, they just have to go see the nurse, get their test, they get it on a text, and they show us the result before they get in the van.
And then just data collection. And really, for our work, like with our donors, that's another part of my job is like how to tell this story so that we can continue to get external funding to support this important work. How to really make, because it's a smaller cohort of students, I feel like sometimes donors are looking for, okay, like hundreds of students and doing this and doing that, and to really tell the story of like this is a cohort model that's really like putting a lot of love and support into these small cohorts of students, and that is the most impactful mentoring model instead of like scattershot sending out hundreds of mentors doing all of these different things to have this focused cohort and to have data to back up.
And to clarify, it's 14 students per cohort, but I would say we've engaged 50 students, at least 50 students over the year, 50, 6, 7, 8, 9th graders who participated over the years. So we are having a bigger impact. Does anybody else, any other site coordinators have struggle with data collection. I feel like I just don't have the time. So we've gathered some data once, but you can see the anecdotal data is so great. You know, we know that it's working, we know it's having an impact, we know they value it, but the one time we did gather some data, I think it's the next slide maybe. So this is what we got. So we surveyed students at the beginning, we surveyed students at the end after 7 weeks, and this is the data that we got. And I feel like, I think we could gather data that better reflects how our kids are doing. But it's just with programming, you know, there's just so much work to be done. So we have tried to lean on Compass to Campus because they have Qualtrics and they will gather data for us. So that's another area where the partnership is helpful, but it just hasn't taken priority for us. So,
Like a couple of minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
We would love to give you all an opportunity to connect with each other again. We will put our contact information up, but we would love for you to just connect and talk about, you know, what's your current college visit situation look like. Hopefully this has given you some ideas or been helpful. And are there potential partners in your area that might be able to strengthen your college visit experiences for students? What resources are available to support expanding your college visit program so that it's more than a one-shot deal? And I think we'll just end there and take any questions offline or whatever individually if you want, but let you all connect with each other. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience and listening to our students.